Hello and welcome to week 9 in research methods. My apologies for last week's technical difficulties with these videos, but off we go. Here in week 9, we're going to be talking about chapter 9 and the most commonly used tool for collecting data, and that is surveys. In fact, if you think about it, almost every test you've ever taken is a survey of some sort. If I have a multiple choice test, I'm basically surveying how well my students can recognize the best of 4 answers related to a question prompt of some kind. So those are surveys. Technically speaking, they're surveys. We often think of surveys, what's your name, what's your age, what's your income, and then, what's your favorite television show, what do you do, what do you buy when you go to Walmart, those kinds of gathering information. The reason why they are the most popular is because they're real easy to do and they're real cheap. And when we're looking at doing psychological research, it is an extremely efficient way of collecting data. Now, that said, as I ask you to go into with the quiz, I ask you to look at the advantages and disadvantages. I mentioned 2 of the advantages. That's tip of the iceberg for that. Surveys are great for a lot of reasons. There's also some disadvantages, and I'm asking you to take care of that, answer that question in the quiz. In the discussion, what I'm having you do is to look up consumer surveys. Let's go into the marketplace. Let's go online. This is just regular Google searches here. And you look for your favorite product of whatever and see if you can find surveys or data that was collected about, say, customer satisfaction or the feature list that they like the best or anything like that, and understand that data is being collected all the time. Whenever you fill out an application, whenever you go online and order something, you're essentially giving the okay for them to gather that data and use it to analyze how to sell you more stuff. So there's a lot of consumer data out there. So in the discussion, see what you can find out there in terms of consumer data. And then, now these are the users. Then, like consumer reports, those are actually experts. So it's a report to consumers or potential consumers, because that's not where we're going. What we want, what is the, what do people think? In these surveys that go out there, polls, basically, we have a lot of that going on here in a very, very contentious presidential race here in the U.S., and lots of poll numbers, all of that stuff. But let's move it away from there, little sensitive areas, and let's focus on products, and see what people think about, particularly in research and development of products. You could actually probably do, examples of survey data collected in the research and development of products. I bet you would get like a gazillion hits on that. So try that. Now for the assignment, similar to before, I'm having you participate in a study, an online study. Now the first one was about being a subject, and that may have entailed, it may have even entailed a survey, probably did. This time I'm taking you to a different place. It's the social psychology research network. So if you look in the course book, you'll see it's on page 160 here in the assessment section here for chapter 9. 160, you click on that right there, and it brings you to this social psychology network. Okay, so there's all kinds of research topics here, and you scroll down, social perception, beliefs and attitudes, all kinds of things. There are all kinds of research that's going. Here's some student research, that's cool. There's some web experiment researches. But what you want to find, if you go in here, diet and lifestyle choices interview at Wesleyan University. I go there, take interview. That's clearly That is clearly going to be a survey, I would think. It's an interactive. The interviews listen to you and respond like an interviewer does. That's kind of interesting, but it's a survey. Just a different way of gathering that data. So, see how they're asking diet and lifestyle choices. I'm not even showing this to you. Diet and lifestyle choice, race and advertising. Those are the two surveys they're doing. Could even win $300 in that one. So that's a pretty cool one. So you go in there, take a survey, even though this is just, they've developed this interactive way. I just picked this one by random, but they have an interactive. They might actually just be actually testing the interactive quality of this. Who knows? But either way, you go in there, take a survey, and then of course you're going to write up a paper about that experience. It is extremely likely that your research will include a survey because it's cheap and easy. There are some exceptions. I am working with several of you who are looking at experiments where you'll be doing some survey data collection, asking for their, say demographic information about your sample and whatnot, but the core data is going to be their performance in some sort of activity, online or actually face-to-face. We actually have some true blue experiments coming up that we're going to hold on campus and have people do that. There's also a tool I'm going to introduce many of you to do experiments in the digital world. The example that I'm doing to guide you through the processes of developing your proposal is going to use that tool. And I'm going to try and explain how that tool works, how it can create experiments online that people can do in lieu of having them coming into a room and doing the experiments that way. So that's it. We have the quiz on the advantages and disadvantages of surveys. You have doing some research on consumer data collected by surveys. Maybe find one, go take one. Great stuff. And then, of course, participating in a study itself. Again, I encourage you to keep working on the proposal processes. There are still some people struggling, and you got to reach out to me. Let me help you. I know that very recently, over the last couple of days, we've had a few breakthroughs where people have, they found the article they want to do. We've made some decisions about which part of an article they're going to replicate. So I'm happy about that. We're going to start moving forward and get those assignments in. We still have lots of time don't stress about it, but just start consistently working on those. My experience has been before and now that as people have once they got through the first two, maybe into the third, they just start getting easier. It's just going to be, we're probably going to hit a little bit of a bump when we do methods itself, actually designing how you're going to do this, where you have to ask all the questions, design your survey, design your experiment. But it's fun stuff. That's when you really you're really biting into what your research is going to be, moving away from that fairly complicated source article into what you're doing, which for the most part has been a kind of a focusing. I won't say simplifying, but I will say it's a focusing of your research on a specific task, specific kind of questions and whatnot, so you can have a positive experience of doing your own research. So get in touch with me if you have any questions about that project. Please get in touch with me. I will be posting this week. It'll actually be the methods one in terms of those instructional videos. And you can make your way through those and get in touch with me if you have any questions. So have a great week. I'll see you online. Enjoy these assignments and take good care.